I don't know what it is, honestly. It's like short sleeve overcoat. Yep.
Dre, we saw the obviously what was on your shoes. We know the relationship you have with Brian. Was that just a friendly competition going?
You want my honest answer, or you want me to lie to you?
I want you to be Draymond.
Well, that's honesty. So my guy, Jaquel, he just like brought me the shoes yesterday, maybe. I was getting a haircut, and he brought me the shoes and was like, "Hey, this guy made these for you for Christmas. We're wearing them all." And I was getting a haircut. I was sleepy. If you go look at his Instagram, I fell asleep getting a haircut, everything. And I was like, I might wear them. And then I woke up today and I was in a better mood. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear those. That's why I wore them. So I had no input on it, honestly. I wish I could have took credit for it though, but I hate lying. So, but you know what's crazy? I didn't even think about that. Maybe that's why the guy made it, trolling Brian. I didn't even think about that, but dang, that was good. That was good. I forgot all about that.
Okay, Mom. Merry Christmas.
Merry
You guys
Christmas to
got
you too.
8 blocks. KD got 5 blocks, especially blocking LeBron James. In your mind, what makes KD so great at protecting the ring?
I think K really had 4 blocks because I'm going to take credit for one of those. No, I mean, I always say defense is just about wanting to do it. And, he's bought into just wanting to play defense. One thing, if you watch the evolution of Kevin's career, he came in and he could just score. He would go get you 20 every night, but that's all he could do. And over the course of the years, he became a better passer. He became a better rebounder. And this is just a part of evolution. He's become a much better defender. And that makes our defense tough. When you got your small forward, protecting the rim the way he does, usually he's always the weak side man, or coming down to get a block shot, and that's stifling for a defense. So, for an offense. So, it's been great to have him playing at the level he's been on the defensive end, but not only this year. I think he's like that last year as well, and it's continued to get better this year.
Who got that Tristan Thompson dunk attempt? Was that you? Was that both of you?
We both got it, but he earned that block because he got it first. So I kind of sprinkled a little finishing touches on it, but he got it first.
How does the feel of the game change when Zaza's starting versus Jordan Bell? And what was your overall impression of Bell tonight?
Well, when Zaza started, we run quite a bit through Zaza, through the elbow. He's a great passer. Zaza's more of a bruiser. He does abuse people, but more of a bruiser. And Jordan is just kind of up and down. Everything's tempo. Obviously more athletic. They both bring, something different to our team. Something different, but both guys that we really need. So, obviously I don't think we've missed a beat with Jordan in there. And when Zaza's in there, we don't miss a beat either. So, 2 completely different styles. And we're going to need them both to play, big minutes for us and, in big situations as Jordan did tonight. Zaza's in those situations quite a bit. The finals last year, I think he helped, take Tristan Thompson out of the finals last year. So, there's going to be moments where, Steve kind of does his thing where he do it by committee. Zaza's going to have his moments where we need him to be huge, and Jordan will have his as well. But Jordan was phenomenal tonight. Helped us win that game.
Hey, Draymond, you were saying earlier in the season that Kevin's never going to get his proper due as far as the respect on defense. Do you think that could ever change, given what we've been
I think
seeing?
he's getting more respect as of late about his defense. But if that was someone that just played defense, it'll still be more, But you're doing Kevin Durant a disservice if you just talk about his defense because he's so good offensively. And if you're just talking about his defense, you're probably going to look like you don't know what you're talking about because if you don't say nothing about the offense, that's what he's spectacular at. In the same sense, I think he's getting, like I said, he's getting more credit for it, and which is great. But it'll never overshadow his offense. But I'm happy that he's getting the credit that he's due, on the defensive end, and more people are starting to notice.
Do you think Kevin gets particularly pumped for these matchups against LeBron, and do you enjoy watching him in these games?
I haven't, saw anything where he's more excited or, to play LeBron than he is to play anyone else. Obviously, when you're a great playing against another great, you take on that challenge. And, he's taking on that challenge. And anybody's going to be like that, when you have the type of challenge in front of you. So he stepped up big in the moments, but I don't see anything different than I see on any other night.
What happened in that sequence? I think it was the first quarter where Calderon was mad. There was some stuff over towards the bench, and then you ended up getting hit with a tee.
I just asked, how can he yell in his face like that and not get a tech? Yeah. That's crazy to me. Like, that guy, that looked like a shout match between a umpire and a manager. Like, that's how it looked to me. You see what they call him, skipper? Come out and and then sometimes they get thrown out, sometimes they go back to the bench. He didn't get thrown out, he just went back to the bench or to the dugout. So I'm wondering, how did he just get to go back to the dugout and not get a technical? I don't know, but I got one. It's cool.
You're obviously Defensive Player of the Year. You're known for your defense. Did you know how good Kevin was on defense? And I know that Kerr has emphasized defense, and I know people believe defense wins, but you were just talking, Kevin was the shooter. Did you know how good he was?
I'll tell you one. You always see, if you watch the game, you would always see over the years him make some defensive plays, but he never really cared. He hadn't never really bought into it. Sometimes he'd take on the challenge and show you how good he can be. I played against Kevin the year before he came here in the conference finals, and he was guarding me. I knew at that point how good he was defensively. Because that series, with him guarding me, it was rough. Like, his length, throw your shot off. It's hard to get around him because he moved like a guard. That's when I kind of learned, how good he was on the defensive end. And obviously coming in here, that was really fresh because that had just happened. And, you just kind of tell him, hey, man, we need you to defend. I think when you look at the beginning of last year, he kind of started off just like, And then, we sat down and we talked about, like, hey, man, we need you to be, lock in on defense. And from that point on, he's just been getting better and better, and he's a great defender.
Draymond, normally Christmas Day feels like that unofficial start to the season, but you guys have played 34 games already. Does this feel like that still? And do you guys hit another gear now that you got this game out the way?
No, I definitely don't feel like the start. No, we're pretty banged up, so it can't really be the start for us. But, after Christmas Day, you're going into the new year. I think the season kind of, the way you break it up in different segments. You get to Christmas Day, you kind of assess yourself because that's usually against a great opponent. You kind of see where you're at. Tough to say where we are. I mean, obviously we've been playing well, but, we're without Steph. We've been without Sean. We've been without Zaza. We've been without me until the last few games. And then it's tough to say where they are, without Isaiah and what he's going to add to their team without D. Rose. So, it's still a good game, but, I think, both teams got some great pieces coming back into the lineup pretty soon here. And so it's kind of just tough to say, like, yeah, we're here and they're there with so many guys missing.